Welcome back, Algebros. I won't bore you too much on this Geogebra adventure, and you've probably already seen something very similar to this back in the functions unit. But I just want to show you guys how each one of these individual graphs that you saw in the previous video translates into that U-shape, which, as you guys might remember, is called a parabola. What you're seeing on display right now is the base form. It's that U-shape. Bonus points if anyone after the video can tell me what sound this would make if this function were to create a sound. I'd love to hear what you have to think about that. Moreover, what would happen if I applied g, which is the same thing but plus 1? If you remember your function transformations correctly, you'd know that this actually shifts the entire thing up by 1. But the important thing that I want you to take away from this is not necessarily the shift. We already know about this. What's important is that this maintains the U-shape, and all I did was add a 1 to the outside. Well, what if we were to add or subtract something from the inside? Well, much like before, whatever we were doing in and out of Dotson, it similarly shifts this way, except now it's a horizontal shift. Once again, familiar stuff from back in the days of functions. If I were to do the minus 4x squared that p is representing, take a guess. Oh wait, it's still a U-shape, except now it's flipped. Don't let the fact that it is flipped confuse you. It may not look like a U, now it kind of resembles an N or an unfinished A if you ask me, but it's still considered a parabola. It's just a flipped parabola. We can get pretty creative as well with something like this one right here, x squared plus 5x plus 6. We've said before that the x squared is vital to make something quadratic, but that doesn't mean that an x can't also appear as well. Just a little bit of familiarity right here. Get used to stuff that looks like this. We'll see it more later. A similar example right here. This one might be a little bit big, but as you can see, still a U-shape. It's just very transformed. The newest of the bunch is probably this one right here, which is those two chunks or binomials. But as you can see, it still creates a U-shape. One and all the same. Now you may be wondering, hold on Mr. K, we've seen upside down and right side up parabolas, but can we ever have a sideways one? The answer is yes. Just switch around the places of x and y. Instead of saying y equals something with an x squared, now say x equals something with a y squared. As you can see from this new one right here, now we have a right-facing parabola. Still called a parabola, even though it's facing a little bit weird, but it's still one. Now that's all fine and dandy, but I would like you guys to do something else. As a little bit of a challenge for your Geogebra adventure. I want you to create 5 parabolas. Each of them doing a different kind of transformation, kind of like these ones up here. You can go back to the Geogebra adventure that we did. I want you to create one that shifts up and down. I want you to create one that shifts left and right. I want you to create one that's a sideways parabola. I want you to create one that is flipped. And I want you, for your last one, to mix it all up. When I say mix it up, I want to see you do something like these last few. For example, the x squared plus 5x plus 6. Show me your Chromebooks when you're done. I'd love to see what you create.